Now that you have placed the litanies at the litany altar and activated their magic, any other litanies you may come across will be helpful to you. Here is one I found while you were searching for the 5 to place at the litany altar. Take it as a reward. Thank you for your help, Beckoned. You've restored the magic of the shrine. Now the patrols and I can finally make use of it. And you as well, of course. Be careful on your travels.
You look like you've traveled far, but not farther than my wares. Wind at your back.
Prayer for our troops. Well now, how are you?
Hello there. You look quite fit, quite able. Perhaps I'll have work for one so hearty as yourself. I have served the Alpha Merchant Navy since my youth, and I began my career as a deckhand on the good ship Steadfast. He is the scourge of the Frostbreak Sea, a terror who seems intent on sinking every ship we sail from Rathir or elsewhere. If only he'd stayed dead. It's the fierce, icy ocean north of the plains of Erethel, a busy place of trade and transport, and the occasional treachery. It is the hideaway of Dead Kell and his crew. The legends speak of it as a damned isle, a horrible scar on the face of the world. To be quite honest, no one is sure of its true location. For the best, I say. Well, once you hear the details, I'm sure you will lose interest. Everyone else does. We of the Alpha Merchant Navy wish to hire a representative to track and kill the notorious pirate Dead Kell and his crew of murderous hanged men. They had many names for him during the Middle Kingdom's era. Ghost of the Frostbreak, the Blood-Red Sail. Every captain and swab on the Frostbreak Sea feared for their lives when Kell raised his flag. Many widows were made in those days, my friend. Of course, that was centuries ago, before he was killed. Oh yes, the Alpha Navy put an end to Dead Kell generations ago. They tracked him to his island hideaway and turned his ship to tinder. There were no survivors. Now you understand our predicament. Our shipping and transport lanes are a gauntlet. Dead Kell preys on our ships like scabs feast on the dying. Helpless against him. We're losing 1 in 5 vessels departing from Rathir. Good sailors gone. Vital supplies sent to the depths. This must end now. You will? Truly? I must admit I did not anticipate this development. Here is your payment. It is made in good faith. Once you've made your preparations, report to Captain Rast Bratigan in the Keys. She will be your escort. Rast is a good and loyal companion and a competent sailor, despite what they say. May Lyria protect you, and may her breath ever be at your back. Good luck. She is the only captain willing to pursue dead Kell into the mists of the Frostbreak Sea. Perhaps it is her courage, her skill, her determination. No, it's not it. Rast is a good woman, but unaware of her own faults, of which there are many. They don't call her the worst sailor alive for nothing. Nothing causes a captain and crew more grief than those little blue beasts. Their poisonous secretions can eat through a new hull in a matter of days. They're not native to this region, but they stow away in the shadowy holes of ships sailing up from the north. They are Dead Kell's legendary crew, a trio of villains so sinister that their names sink the heart of every sailor. But I won't tell you any more. No, you don't need anything else to stoke your worry. She perches along the pier like a seabird, never venturing far from her ship, the Calamity. Trust Rast.
Welcome. Relax. Rest a while.
Watch me, this is just too expensive. Yeah? Don't bother me. I'm waiting for a passenger, some suicidal idiot. Can't be caught chatting. I want to make a good impression. I captained my first ship when I was no bigger than my papa's knee, and promptly crashed it into the dock, sinking 3 vessels with 1 wreck. It was then that I knew my destiny was to be a sailor. From that day forward, I spent my life on the water. 20 ships in 20 years. It must be some kind of record. He's as elusive as a north wind, a phantom with a skull for a face and fins for feet. Every sailor yearns for the chance to face dead Kell. He and his hangmen go where they please, masters of the Frostbreak. In my experience, islands are places you visit in order to escape torment and certain death. The Gallows End is one destination I will avoid on future voyages. Unless I crash there, of course. Bloodgrin, the Whispering Witch and the Baronet, fiends and killers, all of them. They give sailors a bad name. Well, tie me up and drag me under. So you're the one the Navy's hooked into finding Gallows End and killing dead Kell. It's suicide! Really? Ask the others. Oh wait, you can't. But don't worry about them. Like my mother said, don't weep for the fallen, even if they could hear you. They wouldn't care. You know, the other applicants. Dead, all of them. All of the ones they found, that is. Plenty of others just vanished. One poor fellow was found cut into teeny tiny pieces. They needed a bucket to pull all of him from the surf. But don't you worry, we'll have a fine voyage. He's the worst of the worst. A villain who truly enjoys the pain he inflicts. He's a slippery one, though. Not even death can catch dead Kell. I'd love to be the one to bring him in. Maybe then I'd finally get some respect. It is the mysterious island fortress of dead Kell and his crew. Why? Do you know how to get there? Because I have no idea. I was hoping to figure it out as we go, but I'm starting to wonder if that's a good idea. Flattery will get you nowhere, unless I've had too much to drink. Then I'm afraid to say it'll get you all sorts of strange places. I shall not elaborate. Tari and I are ready when you are. Only what you want with you in case of an emergency. There aren't many merchants where we're headed. He's the fine first mate on the ground next to me. Words aren't his strength, although I'd be pressed to say what is exactly. I found him after I was forced to maroon my last first mate on a desert island. That man became obsessed with me, probably because we had sex. A lot. Seeing as I don't believe in navigation, I'd have to say no. Not at the moment. Not to worry. Once you've wrecked enough ships, you get the hang of it. If you're ready to depart, my vessel awaits. You'll find her both swift and seaworthy. Just don't go down into the hold. There's a leak down there. It's big. I'm predicting an uneventful voyage. We might even get bored. Off we go then. Trust no one. Except me, of course.
Well?
Lo, hear the tale of the Pirate King, who cut a blood-red wake from dark Rathir to frostspring sea, and dead Kel was his name. With hangmen crew and bow-white flag, he sailed from gallows end. No solace for a sailor true when dead Kel's ship came in.
Wow! I did not foresee such a horrendous disaster. Too bad. Are you well? Everything in its right place? Most of the others were killed. It wasn't quick. I heard their cries in the fog, but I couldn't do a thing. Dead Kel. One moment there was nothing but open sea before us, and the next there he was. It didn't take much to sink the Calamity. That poor ship was asking for mercy, and dead Kel granted her wish. Welcome to Gallows End, my friend. At least I think that's where we ended up. I hope you like surprises. No one is sorrier than I am. Those men and women were my family. Travelling as I do, there aren't many opportunities for closeness. I found that on the Calamity. Found it and lost it. Good thing Tari is still with me. Well, mostly. Not sure exactly, but he's bleeding like a gutted fish. We're going to need to reach shore if we want to fetch help. We'll have to come back for him. I wish there was another way. Gone, Lyria, bless her. Like Mother always said, never love anything, because all things end up dead. A wise woman, my mother. And very, very sad. The hull drifted off into an eastern cove, where it sank away completely. Only bubbles remain. Without a ship, I no longer possess any authority, so I defer to you. There is a flooded cavern down the beach. It may lead us to shore, although it appears to be blocked. I could try cobalt explosives. I keep a few in my pack, but I can't be certain of the outcome. To be honest, I don't even know if they work. Let's go! see whether or not these explosives are worth the price I paid for them. Get back! Yes? I'm lost. I'm going to explode this next wall. Keep your distance. I'm lost. Jabbering jellyfish! I'm out of explosives! And we're so close, I can hear the waves on the sand. One of us is going to need to find some way to get us through this wall. And by someone, I mean you. You see, I don't swim, or did I fail to mention that? Anything that can get us through this wall. Be creative. I'd help you, but I can't swim. No time to jaw. We survived! I didn't want to say anything in the cavern, but I was betting against us. In the words of my dear departed mother, always prepare for the worst, for it'll probably happen. There looks to be a settlement on the beach. Come, let's see who's at home. Ready when you are?
Akara blesses us with another lost soul. Welcome, stranger. I am Alder Malloy, and you've arrived at Cape Solace just in time. Tell me, how have you come to find yourself upon our shore? It is a village established by those of us whose fates have brought us to Gallows End. Sailors and settlers, foreigners and families, but castaways all. We have made a life here on these beaches and in this village. Akara is the reason I am here. The reason all of us on this island are here. And maybe, my friend, it's why you are here as well. Akara is this island and everything upon it. Ah, so you're here for the oppressor, he who was cast down. You're not the first to arrive on these shores in search of him. You will not be the last. But Akara's magic protects us here in Cape Solace. We are safe from Dead Kell's deathless touch. The same cannot be said for those who venture past the boundaries of the village, near the keep and the surrounding forest. Dead Kell was the favorite son of Akara. He was given great gifts from our protector, only to squander them in the pursuit of power. We are blessed not to fear him. So many others live at his mercy, but not those of us here on the safety of the beaches. Akara protects the faithful. Why, it is the great fortress that looms in the north. Grave Hall, as it was named by the Diverga craftsmen who raised its mighty walls. But the Diverga have long since abandoned the island, leaving their great keep empty. Some in the village, like Paddy, are intrigued by the keep's dark courts and corridors, but I would avoid it. Grave Hall is haunted. The villain Dead Kell rules much of this island, and he strives tirelessly to control every last inch. Akara will not let this happen. We are protected in this spot alone, just south of the river and along the coast. The Fallen One has no power here, and it enrages him. Then you will fit in well, for keeping the village strong is truly a group undertaking. We get by with Akara's blessing and providence, of course. You may stay with us for as long as you wish, but might I suggest that you find a way to make yourself useful? We all must do our part. He is this island and everything on it. His power and wisdom give us direction, help us to chart a course through the thundering storm of this mortal life. Akara has been a part of Gallows End since before the first castaway dragged his boat ashore and kissed the damp sand beneath his feet. We here in Cape Solace worship Akara because it is he who provides safety, sustenance, and sense of purpose. I once captained my own craft. I was a thief and a smuggler. But all that changed when I found myself here, upon this mysterious shore. Akara blessed me with a second chance. That is what he does. He shows you what is possible. He shows you the fates of which you've never fathomed. I met Bridget, another castaway, and later we had our beloved Nina. All the happiness I'd ignored in my early life were suddenly mine. He and his hanged men are not welcome near our village. Akara has made it so. The fallen sun stalks the forest and coasts of Gallows End, but he is a prisoner here as much as anyone. One day, Akara will rid us of him once and for all. I prefer the rolling tides of the Frostbreak to any grassy plain or hillside. I have lived a life adrift, seeing the world and meeting interesting people. All who find themselves on these white sand beaches have been drawn by Akara. Here you will discover many mysteries, but none more important than what to do with this opportunity. Who will you be when you leave Gallows End? The same person who came? Or someone else entirely? She means well, but like all children, she craves freedom and independence. She will learn to respect boundaries. This is an island, after all. But he's a funny one, plagued by delusions and inspiration. I've known Akara to touch people, but Paddy acts more touched in the head than blessed. Ever since he arrived, Paddy has had a covetous eye on Gravehall Keep. I don't know what it is about that old ruin that so bewitches him. Magical deviants like their master, the Hanged Men, terrorize any who brave the wilderness. Bloodgrin stalks the docks of Kel's Harbour to the west, while the Baronet rules the mountains in the north, haunting its peaks and twisted islands. Worst of them all is the Whispering Witch. We never know where she will strike next.
You're lucky to be alive.
Hello there, Castaway. I've heard about you. You're the one what brought the captain. She's a quirky sort, not that I'm judging. Anything I can do to make you more comfortable? Without his gift of endless comfort, I never could have faced the days alone. Everything I am now is because of him. I have seen him just the once. He was poking his skull-white face out from one of the western fastings. Scary? Bah, not in the slightest. Only cowards lurk about in the mud and take what doesn't belong to them. You're scarier than he is. My husband was killed in the wreck of the Blue Sabre, along with our children. Fauna, Peter, and little Gwen. It was not easy, especially during the first years. But with Akara's grace, I moved past the grief and flourished. Getting marooned here was a blessing. People are always happy to see my face. That's because I'm the one who gets things. Besides, people only wish to return to the mainland if they have something to return to. I don't have this problem. Haunted, cursed, damned. All of them apply to Gravehall. No one has set foot beyond those walls in years. It's a place left to the ages. Don't let Padrig and his friends convince you otherwise. Oh, I could tell you a thing or two about Padrig Dower, but I won't. Too much of a lady I am. Paddy wishes only to serve in the highest company. The rest of us are scuttle in his eyes. He and his friends can keep their own counsel, if you ask me. I'll see you around.
What do you think?
Back off.
Look what the reef brought ashore this time. I am Padrig Dower. My friends call me Paddy, but I have few of those here in the village. I assume dear Alder's given you the welcome speech? Or foolish man. It's getting crowded down here, you know. Pity we can't move, some of us at least, up to the keep on the hill. Alder's gone. I don't know if he's real or not, but I know I don't believe in him. What kind of god only protects you if you stay within these random borders and every few years sacrifice someone to him? Alder's god. I don't know if he's real or not, but Alder's a fine fellow. Just ask him. He'll tell you himself. You may have gathered, he and I don't see eye to eye on some things. Alder's a fine fellow. Just ask him. None of us are here by choice, so I try not to judge too harshly. But, if I may be crass, they're a bunch of damn sheep, these people. Not all of them, of course. Keen Lan, they're good folks. My for two. The rest, I wouldn't miss. It's safe, that's for certain. And try as I might, I can't deny that's probably thanks to this Akara. Real or not, that doesn't mean I have to worship him like the others. I don't fall to my knees out of pure boredom like some people. Raised by humans, trained by the master, and nothing but a sour malcontent if most of Cape Solace is to be believed. You'd be wise to steer clear of me. Praise Akara now and then and start making your new life here. Thing of beauty, isn't it? Nothing like the great city of Odessa, of course, but just as breathtaking. Please excuse my enthusiasm. I was an architect back in the world. If you want a nicer place to live, and you aren't afraid of spirits, I can help you get that keep. Interested? It's not haunted. Cursed, maybe, but not haunted. Gates locked and it's crawling with those damn scabs. And something else inside that's loud as hell. Every so often, someone gets an idea to sneak in. Most don't get as far as the door, and those who do never come back. I've gotten as far as the top of the wall to have a peek inside. It wasn't easy, but I had a good enough look to know I'd better climb right back down and think of something else. Everything else, I know from the dream. Last night, I dreamt of the keep as it once was, several stories tall and so beautiful, it made me cry. When I awoke, I was clutching this key in my hand. I don't put much stock in Akara, but I do know a sign when I see one. There was more, but I can't recall it clearly. Perhaps it'll come back to me when we get inside. Will you come? Yes, I'm going with you. I'm not much good in a fight, but I can remember enough of what I saw in the dream to know where to go. So, you want to help me or not? Fantastic! Let me know when you're ready to go, and we'll be off. Come on, then. I'll lead the way, but stay close. Alder's god doesn't protect us outside Cape Solace. Bye. Nearly there. See? What did I tell you? Magnificent. Bit worse for wear after a couple centuries, but nothing I couldn't fix. Let's see if this key still works. Goodbye. This keep is not haunted. It is overrun. Monsters, not phantoms, inhabit its dark hallways. We should move along. We've seen scavs, but nothing more fearsome. These must be the spirits that haunt this place. Bye. Go on. You've beaten back the beasts. You've braved the shadows. You've earned the right to claim the seat. Sit upon the throne. You are the rightful ruler of Grave Hall now. I'll leave it behind for the keep the first chance I get. The dream is still mostly mist and darkness, but bits and pieces return to me when I concentrate. Though I don't remember all the details, I believe the memory is guiding my discoveries and inspirations. The Diverger built Gravehall Keep and all the fastings around the island. A whole tunnel network built for defense. No one knows why they left the island, but it's clear they left in a hurry. Soon to be master builder of Gravehall Keep, if you please. Should you see fit, of course. Or just call me Paddy. Bye. This is remarkable. You've done it. For years, the villagers of Cape Solace have been too craven to enter this great hall. And here you are, freshly washed ashore, and you march right in and take it. Haunted? Never. Just a few small beasts. Nothing you couldn't handle. Guess the keep had one more surprise left for us. But now, the keep is yours. You're the first master of the keep in nearly 500 years, if you're willing to believe all the legends. Let me be the first to offer you my services, my liege. Can't say I miss it, but I think it's our duty to offer them any help they need. My liege, I am glad you asked. I've been ruminating over this beautiful structure, devising plans for its improvement. I'll start by restoring the keep inside and out, but I also feel the need for a beast pen in the courtyard. I could easily add that at the same time. I just need you to get me 2 bundles of beechstone, 3 bundles of emberwood, and 3 bundles of sailcloth. The centuries have been surprisingly kind to this place. The forest should have reclaimed it ages ago. Worst part is all the scav droppings, but that's just dirty work. I believe much of the rubble is what remains of the side buildings and upper floors I saw in my dream, but I'm not certain yet. Yes, it will allow us to take full advantage of the island's diverse variety of beasts. Of course, we'll soon need to find a suitable beast master to run it. I think I might know just the man, but we'll get to that later. You should be able to find enough to salvage at Scuttle Beach. I've marked a few locations for you to search on your map. I'll get to work as soon as you're back. Bye.